Welcome back to a Monster Monday Cryptic Cabal Season 2, Session 32, A Plan and a Crown. Not really a fitting title anymore for the Part 2, but it's somewhat. Last time we left off, we had two members, unfortunately, and we had a bit of a special one-off with Floor Snap and Mailhell having a grand of a time. One could even say, well, I don't actually have a creative pun for giants off the top of my head, to be honest. But as the party managed to hold off with the help of Saturday a attack from the Vanguard army on Knighton, the Mailhell and Floor Snap managed to assist in defeating a large group of Bog and Fog giants that had started attacking, as well as a weakened mountain giant as the party came to the conclusion of. Though the fight went quite well. A few close calls were had as the party clearly showed how close they were in this fight. With many of them, thankfully, none of the creatures hitting them, including Floor Snap and Manahel, who avoided the mountain giant like the plague. As the creature with them managing to not only defeat the champion, but also seeing its jaguar construct escape from its large bush, because again, no clever pun here. With the creature running off and the quick spellcraft to realize that the thing acted like a phylactery, the party kind of made note of it, with Mailhell and Floor Snap deciding it wasn't worth pursuing currently and instead following back after Wara to go meet back up with the captain. However, as unfortunate as it was, as the night went on, the captain being unavailable during the night, and unwilling to meet with the crew, the following morning, he found himself heading out to meet with another group. With the three of you being allowed to stay on the ship, or being told to stay on the ship and relax until he got back. Around mid-morning, about mid-morning, as Azurus kind of comes walking down towards the ship, a little drunker, a little happier, and honestly, with a bit more coin in his pocket, as he kind of comes walking onto the ship, a large coin sack on his hip. As we return back to the day of the 20th of May, or the Bloody, in the year 65,008, the mid-morning, as Azurus kind of climbs aboard the ship once more to meet with his crew and decide what has happened. Azurus having just come back from the meeting with the Ironheart Merchant Company.
All right. I have offloaded the recovered ship, and soon has the 1.5 come yet, or are we still waiting on that technically?
No, you have that on your hip already.
All right. I have made a pretty penny today, and frankly, I think we have outstayed our welcome in this fine port town. I wish to set sail today, however, if there is something we want to do, in this town, one last thing before we head out, we certainly can.
One of the trolls raises their hands.
What do you want, my friend?
Captain, I kind of met someone in town. I'd like a chance to at least say goodbye.
You've got time. Till end of day, we set sail at dusk.
He nods, and the others seem to kind of nod, a little bit of light chattering from them as they come back to listening and paying attention.
Do any of the, now that we're leaving, do any of the trolls have Lord Meadmancer's sigil on them at all?
Give me a search check real quick, May.
Alright. Waiting for the sheet to load.
So
I'm really good at these.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Apologies for the coughing in the background. I got something caught in my throat for something. So. As you kind of look about the group, The fact there's not many trolls makes it a little easier as you kind of look across. If they're hiding it, I mean, you don't see any clear necklaces or markings. A couple of them wearing what looks to be wedding rings now around their neck on a necklace. A few wearing other small charms, but nothing specifically of the golden skull and crossbones of Lord Meatmancer.
All right.
Nor is Crump wearing one, before, in case you were curious.
Definitely before we set sail, I'll probably hit up the taverns and around just to see if we can get any more crew aboard this ship. Working at it on a skeleton crew definitely puts a little strain on the current crew.
Okay. Well, as we look
Yeah.
at the rest of your crew, go ahead. Sorry, War.
Captain, did you want to have a discussion with me?
Yes, Wara. I was going to get to that.
Okay, I'll wait.
All right. So, also, I know you two have rarely been aboard the ship. And let me allow a formal introduction to the Red Lady, a fine catch vessel that once belonged to Blackbone Og, but I brought it back from the bottom of the sea. She's a fine vessel, albeit got a little, cuts and bruises here and there. She is upkept by our fine boatswain Vicarette. She is down below if you need anything fixed or built. This is not me offering her services, but you can ask her. And she'll decide what she does with her time.
Question: where should I put 6 tons of giant bone?
Unfortunately, I don't think my ship currently has the capacity to hold 6 tons of giant bone.
Bag of holding?
As the troll, you hear the trolls kind of lightly whispering. One of them going, like, kind of mimicking a big bag of holding, and then you hear some whispers about as they look over at Captain Azur's kind of expectingly.
Hold on a second.
I
I think. Let me double check, because I know Vicarette got the biggest bag of holding you allowed her to.
Yeah, which is a Type 3 or Type 4, which does not take up to 6 tons. That'd be a lot. It's like, I think the biggest is like at most 25,000? No, I don't think that. Let me pull it up.
Yeah, she's got a Type 3.
Let me pull it, yeah. Un momento, and I will let you know. That you're looking for a bag of the Juggernaut is what you're specifically looking for. It's 1,500 pounds. I was way off. Even bag of the Juggernaut I think only does like 5,000 pounds. I want to say. I'd have to do a double check somewhere to see because I think it's an artifact level item. But yeah. Yeah, for your own knowledge, there is not a bag of holding out there, Captain Azurus, that exists that could hold that level of weight. Though, if you could get, theoretically, some mountain giant skin, it's not an impossibility.
1 second. I need to go talk to someone that has just left.
Yeah, I mean, I know my ship currently has a max storage of roughly 4,000 pounds. Roughly.
If it makes you feel any better, it is siege equipment. I throw at other vessels, they die.
To be fair, I already have a catapult and ballistas.
No, I do much more than the ballista.
Some of the trolls seem to nod along at that with a little bit of fear in their eyes, remembering the battle that they had seen.
Also, I require no time to reload. As I see a thing, I throw the thing. Several things, really.
How many do you want?
Well,
Because you can't have it all.
I,
We just cannot carry 6 tons of bones. It's not gonna happen.
I'm a growing boy. I think at least a ton, perhaps 2, would be more than enough to help my retirement.
We
Also,
could
I have a very
probably-
large club.
We could probably just like talk to the ones that helped us kill the giant, have them store it for us. Whole thing's considered.
I'd rather not do that.
That's no consequences between me and them. I'll not involve the crew.
Right.
It's the fact that you're associated with me right now. As I just essentially got 1.7 million gold coins from them.
As he lightly taps the bag of coin on his hip.
All right. Well, I mean,
Let me see. Hold on. Let me take a look at my current lineup of storage. Let me just see how much space I even have left.
Could try and buy another ship while you're in town.
I could.
Just buy a smaller ship.
1.7 million GP? Yeah, he can buy an airship with that kind of cash and walk out of here comfortably.
Yeah, just buy a little like barge that we tow all of the bones behind us in.
I'm not gonna have a barge to tow. Are you fucking insane?
Look, it's a
On
lot
the
of the
high
everything on the table.
seas? If we were sailing around rivers, yeah, barge, but on the ocean?
Hey, it works
You're
for
crazy.
modern times.
Well, I will put to the
Yeah,
point.
okay.
To Captain Azurus and to the rest of the crew, when you had sailed in, you came in on a heavy river, or a pretty wide river, that passes by a major capital port, the city of King's End. So just to kind of keep to the knowledge, if you are going to sell these bones, you aren't far from another city you could offload them into. Now, I'm not saying prices would be good there, but there is another town that has a bit more that is a major trade port. That
So
would be
to
on
get
your way
here,
up.
we had to sail through King's End, or that
Yeah,
there's a
you had to pass by King's End. Yep. Kind of like if you're familiar with how France works. Technically, you swim. Boats would come in through the river that, and pardon me, I do not know the name of the river, but it's the river to Paris that comes through Normandy.
River Seine.
Thank you.
All right.
Because the one the Vikings used to basically siege Paris. Or supposedly siege Paris, I should say. But yeah, so kind of keeping that to your mind, if you are planning to just offload materials, you don't have far to go. And for your own note of what King's End is, it is a former capital of another nation that was conquered and turned into a dukedom to Regan Utham's territory. It is owned roughly by an individual known as Og, who is noted for his very large and capable personality. Also a very kind individual, as many of the rumors go. The city itself, though, is also noted to be kind of a hub for trouble, having had a group called the Unfortunate Sons almost cause it to get destroyed twice, as well as a massive war and battle with the first fight of the Lithotara military. Little hint to Sunday there for something that they may run into if they don't leave probably here soon. But beyond that, yeah, King's End is quite wealthy overall and sees most of the merchants coming through. Knighton's kind of treated as a secondary supply city.
Would the best place to buy ships would be here, or would you think at the major port city, which is King's End?
Sorry?
What would be a better place to actually buy ships? Would it be here? Or like in the port city of King's End?
Captain, before you make a decision on that, I have a scroll for you. From Regan Utham.
That was me talking out of character, but...
That is fair. I will note, just for out-of-character note, Knighton does not have a big enough shipbuilding facility currently. So. There's one that has recently been said to be started, or at least there's already rumors going around as of today. But there are rumors that there is a business popping up. King's End would be closer. Your best bet would honestly be King's End overall, or heading to the Snowbeards, as they are another race famous for their ships.
Mm-hmm. I think we go to King's End. At least there we can, we're out of Knighton since I feel like we've overstayed our welcome here. And
Captain,
maybe...
I have a scroll from Megan Utham for you for a
Oh, that's
contact
fantastic.
named Woodwalker. He's a
yeah.
shipbuilder.
Yeah. Let me
Oh
see
yeah.
this one.
Speaking of ships, where did I put those things? I start rummaging through my pack. I pull out a stack of papers that's like pretty much the most detailed report you can get on a navy ever, and I hand them over to Captain Azurus. This is all the things you asked for. Floorsnap and I got it in like literally the second we got out of sight of this one over here. I nod towards Wara.
All
It
right.
took us like a heartbeat to get this, and then we didn't know what to do with our time, so we just started killing giants. You know, the bad giants, what those people over there, I nod towards the city, we didn't like.
As long as the job got done. All right. I guess first I'll take a look at this letter about the from Utham.
It's a full of introduction to Woodmaker.
Woodwalker.
Oh,
No beard.
Yep. Oh wait, are you talking about the Woodwalker? Wait, hold up. Send me what
Yeah,
you're.
Woodwalker.
Woodwalker. Okay. The Woodwalkers are a frost giant clan. They're for Captain Azurus' own knowledge, as these guys are quite famous. Just general knowledge is that they are the most notorious airship crafters in the world, and pretty much everyone looks for their airships. They're one of a kinds, and they're considered to be very valuable, as you've already experienced.
Yeah, they were pretty nice.
Yeah, you got to see that one. It was even shrunk down, and you had to take a look. So yeah.
Yep, it's a shame. I had a grip on greatness.
But yes, it is a letter of introduction as you kind of look at it at the behest of Regan Utham, though kind of noting that the city of Velkomen is under siege right now. Even from the airship, you guys can clearly see what looks to be a massive mountainous-like creature smacking at what looks to be the mountain far to the distance.
Yeah, we might not be... I might not be using this letter of introduction for a long time. But it's good to have in case I do want to, expand out into the skies. What other ships are in port right now?
Oh, yeah.
Just, as a refresher.
The report. And you're just looking over. I assume you're not looking at the report that Melhel just gave you.
Not right now. I could do that when we're actually sailing.
Well, that was going to take a minute of flipping through, so that's why I wanted to clarify. As you look over, you see the ship that says on the side, Zelz and Son, Z-E-L-Z, for reference. The Iron Warden, and then the First Finger.
Gotcha.
And for note, I think... well, actually, no. That was something your party figured out. So never mind.
All right. Yeah. I'm almost at capacity with all of this. The weight I got right now, I can probably take about 500 pounds, half a ton of those giant bones.
Out of curiosity, how valuable is your current volume? These are bones from...
Allow me to show you. As soon as I take you down the hole, you see glittering gold, jewels, ornate combs.
Wara, who's just kind of following along, having seen this before, but Melhel and Floorsnap, as this is your first time, I believe, getting to see this, because you were hired in Knighton. As you go down to the bottom cargo, as you see just drums of golden and silver combs, like hair combs, just tons of them, bejeweled to no end. Just in barrels.
I mean, it's not so. It's like I got 60 white pearls, a golden circlet with 4 aquamarines, 40 diamonds, 35 large wool tapestries, 500 pounds of ivory, 700 pounds of blue quartz. 600 pounds of malachite. We've got cloth of gold vestments, azurite, more large wool tapestries, 600 silver combs, 499 gold dragon combs, a bunch of masagate, or however, agate, or whatever, star sapphires, a bunch of shields, a potion, a ring, and a scroll.
As he pulls out the long, list.
And that's
Is
just like, actual valuables. There's other shit around, like 500 pounds of metal bars and shit.
Just as a heads up, when you head down to the hold, you realize that Vicaret's not on the ship currently. Because she would have fucked off to talk to the other party.
Yeah, she's currently buying stuff for the ship.
And
well, for herself, to be fair. But yes, to bring with on the ship.
Spending the pile of money that she's been sitting on for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But yeah,
I have so much gold.
As May and Floorsnap, as you're kind of walked through the bottom floor, you see a small forge with what looks to be a workshop. A group of Thrycrane working away. About what looks to be a few, four of them, a few of them missing, as War kind of notes look to have gone with Vicaret. But yeah, the rest of the items kind of just stacked neatly and kind of assorted by size and shape, as well as what they wanted.
If you don't, can I actually get a count of the Thrycrane that are assisting Vic? Because that counts as the
7 in
size.
Total.
Okay.
I believe. Am I correct on that, May? Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, there's 7.
Yep. So 4 are here, 3 are with Vicaret.
Gotcha. Because of course that counts towards the whatever any person on board counts towards the max crew size.
Yep, technically, because they can assist with stuff. But I just want to mention they are under Vicaret's command.
Oh yeah.
Cool. As long as you're as long as that's clearly noted, we're good. But yeah, as you're shown this floor snap, the bone's still outside, kind of sitting on what is basically a wooden trolley with some wheels, some wooden wheels set to the side of it. A couple of the troll guarding it. As you look about, there's not nearly enough room to put in this whole mountain bone giants you have.
Just kind of sigh in exasperation. It's like, yeah, all these useless glittery things instead of actual armaments, bones. There's not even any screaming. None of these things are alive.
I mean,
Do
hold on. Floorsnap, please allow me to also show you the the 100 skulls that I have adorned around the vessel. 50 of them being trolls, and then the rest of a mix of Goliath, Goblin, Hobgoblin, and Giant.
That is slightly better.
There you go. See, I thought you'd like that.
Or in the background, just looking at Floorsnap, question unanswered as he kind of wonders.
But also, you need to start actually finding real skulls from actual people.
No, these are real.
Perhaps it's from a different time.
As you hear a knock on, a slight knock on the wall, as one of the trolls kind of comes down, trying to get your attention. As he looks over at you, as soon as he kind of makes eye contact with you, Captain Azurus, he goes, the bright bee is here. He said he wanted to talk to the captain. He looks scary, Captain.
A bright who?
A bright bee. He's 22 some feet tall and really scary. He's just got eyes that look like they go right through you.
All right. I guess we shall head up.
He nods and goes, yeah, you guys go on ahead. I'll cover the rear to make sure nothing gets harmed on the way out. He kind of watches you climb up the ladder.
I look at him.
Slightly
are you
shaking.
trying to rob us in broad daylight?
Oh, no, I just don't want to go.
I'm gonna sense motive this guy.
Give me a sense motive.
Fucking.
And as we walk up the stairs, I want to ask Floorsnap a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Floorsnap, do bones float?
Yeah, it depends on the bone.
The ones you want?
1 second. I yeet one of the bones into the water.
They do seem to somewhat float.
Ah, cool. We can tow them.
Drag them behind the ship.
Well, you kind of contemplate that for a second. May, it seems that he is completely, something about the introduction probably didn't go well, and it seems that most likely this troll screwed up something and is trying to hide. Or his fear of the merchant seems to have kind of spurred his lacking of wanting to go back up. It's kind of hard to tell, but to your worry of him looking to steal from you, no, it looks like he's just trying not to get in trouble with whatever's going on up there.
Oh, then I don't care. I'm not. I wasn't hired to police the crew, so.
Nope. I figured as much, but just want to make it clear for you.
Yeah. He's not fucking specifically me over, and not fucking specifically floor snap over, and the only reason I care about him fucking floor snap over is I want to watch and see what happens when he does.
That's fair. As you guys kind of head up above, as Floor Snap and War kind of stand up off to the side, looking off to the side of the boat, Floor Snap kind of tossing the bone into the water as War and Floor Snap kind of look at, considering what to do. As you kind of throw the bone in, seeing it splash and float at the bottom of the dock, you see what looks to be about a 20. Actually, here, let me look at my notes here. About a 22-foot tall, skinny, grayish, skinned, giant-like fellow. His eyes almost slightly piercing as he looks at you. Glasses slightly down, a golden merchant attire with a mix of nobleman silks that seem to highlight with the black, that give almost this yellowish and black color. Bits of gold chain and jewelry kind of all adorned around him as he smiles slightly up at you, his piercing gaze kind of almost going right through you, Floor Snap and Wara, as he smiles up. The words, the letters B and B kind of emblazoned on his chest.
This guy raided the whorehouse to make his finery there. My God.
Oh, old man Floor Snap, I would never go and take on a whorehouse. That would be a little bit too much work in my age. I don't have the stamina these days. I do have good ears, though, as well as a good nose for those who are unique visiting the city. My name's Mr. Brightby of the Bright Collective Guild, as he smiles and bows.
Damn, you do have good ears.
He nods and goes, "It pays when you're the merchant prince of the town. May I," as he looks over towards Captain Azurus, "come aboard, Captain?"
I don't see why not. Welcome aboard.
I do appreciate it. I do apologize, my appearance may be a little shocking. My family are half mountain giant and frost giant. Well, half is a strong word. I'm about an eighth on my mother's side. My appearance can be a little bit foreboding to some.
So what brings you here today?
Kind of climbs onto your ship, and as he kind of towers well over you, kind of looks around for a little area that's clear and sits down, crossing his legs as he looks about and goes, "I have come with a business proposition. Like I said, I have a good ear, and I'm interested in buying your materials. Ill-gotten or not, your valuables could be sold for quite a profit, and I figure you're trying to offload them quickly."
Some of these items would definitely are just collecting dust.
You know what they say about wars. They spur an interest in the finer things. Combs, gold, silver, tapestry.
Not
Thing!
dying.
Huh?
Not dying.
Kind of smiles as he looks over. We'll cut back over from this for a second as we cut back over to Wara and Floor Snap for a second as Wara continues. Sorry, Wara.
No. I was gonna have this conversation on the side, so Azurus
okay.
can.
No worries. All right, want to make sure. All right. Yeah, all right, we'll jump back over to Brightby then as he continues and goes, "So, I hear that you have come into possession of a few of these goods, and I'd be interested in you offloading them through me, as well as a guarantee of any business coming through these lands going forward."
Please repeat that for me, Royce, if you don't mind.
Oh, yes. So he said that he is interested in buying your tapestry, your combs, and your other fine goods, as well as he's looking to basically offer you he wants to buy your business for him exclusively.
All right, kind of like if I come through, he gets first dibs to see if he wants anything, essentially.
Yep. Basically.
All right, and that's just for like these lands or like wherever his the guild is.
He did not specify.
All right. Would that be wherever you are or your guild? Can I get a little clarification on when this would apply? What this area means?
If you're interested in assisting me with setting up further guilds, I'll hawk your goods in any city you are willing to assist me with, and I'll even give you a cut of my profits. I see no reason we couldn't do business for that, but as far as right now and what I have on the table, any goods you bring through Knighton, or anything else of the Regan Uthams, I will ask that you come to me with your finest materials so that I may look over them. I promise a fair profit for you.
I am content with this. What is your offer on my goods?
20% above market.
I think we're gonna have a real great relationship.
Good, I don't like mincing words. I'm happy you like my deal. Now, I will tell you, going forward, I would also like to ask that any markings of materials that you sell me don't have anything to lead back to wherever you may have acquired them. We'll say it you're a producer of mine, as he kind of smiles at you and holds out his hand.
All right. You've got yourself a deal, my friend.
Good. Welcome to the Bright Collective Guild.
I love money.
He looks at you and begins counting out the gold from his coin purse on his side. And if you want to send me what the actual coin is, I'll give you, or you can, I'll give you out the market or the value he's going to give you.
All right, because it's 20% above what
Yep.
it is.
So just take what you're willing to sell of all of your finer materials, which are not bones. He's not looking for any of your animal byproducts. He's just looking for goods that would be for nobles. So tapestries, gems.
And we're talking. That's I was exactly what I was about to ask. Like, would he want like raw gems, or does he want like finished product?
Everything and anything. He's just not interested in your metal bars or your like monster bits.
Gotcha. Luxury goods.
Yep.
I get it.
So anything you're willing to sell, you can kind of work that out on the side real quick if you want to take a minute and look through your stock.
All right. Yeah. Well, I've been actually trying to remember. So I remember I had the captain's coat, and because I know that's a magic item, and I'm trying to find what the item actually did.
Oh. Wait 1 second.
Because I know it helps boost some of the stuff, but I'm trying to, favorite it so I actually know what's actually going on with that item.
Not a problem. Magnificent Captain's Cloak. So basically, the wearer also gains... Okay, so the wound wearer from becoming wet in rain or sea spray, the wearer also gains the benefit of Enduring Element spell against cold, but not hot in extremes of weather. So basically, you're not bothered by extreme cold. Additionally, this effect also goes into powerful winds, which means that basically you can't be blown around while you're wearing this coat. Here, I'm going to send you the full thing so you have it for yourself.
Yeah, I appreciate that. It was like that or the link. I'm like, man, where is it?
I got you real fast. Let me just PM that to you. Thank you. And even the source where it comes from.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
I think the only thing that you're looking for is it gives a +5 confidence bonus on sailor checks as well as balance. You're not getting anything else extra for this for deals and such.
Yeah, it was not that. It was that. It was just something I'm like, man, I remember I had this item, but what does it fucking do?
This is in the background, the wire tying the bones into the raft. Wait, hold up. I'm just checking this here. Alright, that's a horrifying thought. Can I put a point to both of you? Just to note, there are large creatures in the water that are attracted to things, and if you take a creature that's basically the equivalent of an apex monster and stick its bones in the water, and there's a giant apex monster sea snake that is known to, swim around the entire planet, how do you think those two things are going to interact with each other?
Fishing.
Yeah, and for those who've watched One Piece and have gotten all the way to the episodes where the island gets swallowed by a fish, do we want to play that out? Do you guys feel like becoming going through on a roller coaster through a snake's bowels?
I mean, you said you wanted your One Piece insert, right?
I got that already. I don't need that for this group.
Better than Bleach.
God damn it, you hush. I agree with you, but you go over there, hush. You don't watch either.
That's besides the point.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Do
you have an idea of what you're giving it? Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know I'm gonna give up. I'm just gonna have to do some calculations, at least of the base gold price.
Yeah, well, if you want to kind of roughly... You can speak to it if you'd like to, as you want to kind of start having your crew bring stuff up for you.
Yeah. That's me laughing at what Chaston sent me, because I'd forgotten where I'd gotten the information for that coat was from. Thank you, Chaston. I love you, buddy. Alright, yeah, so you can focus on our dear, other members while I write some shit down and calculate, because I have a lot of stuff that I need to go through.
Alright, yeah, as, Brightbeak kind of looks at, or looks over at Captain Azurus, like, eyes are turning to just gemstone dollar signs, basically, as he is starting to pull out the list and starts going through the inventory, doing the math, and starting to calculate things out as he looks about.
Yeah, I got my little accountant's, green little forecap on, just alright, I'll punch you some numbers.
Real quick, you hear the quiet mumble of Captain Azurus going, "Oh, well, we won't have an issue getting Floor Snap's bones now on the ship." In the background, as he kind of continues on.
Oh, for sure. Well, there's 6,000 of them, right?
6 tons.
Pounds worth of it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, I won't even be able to... I can carry 2 tons max.
Oh, okay.
If I clear my thing, and I still have cargo.
Yeah, that's fair. But Mr. Brightby kind of turning over to you two as you start, or kind of having your conversation, looking over at May as well as he kind of smiles and goes, "So what's this I hear about you lot trying to get rid of some mountain giant bones?"
Can't rid of. I look
I
towards.
look at Floor
immediately
Snap
look
and
towards
go,
Floor Snap.
that's you.
You just pan over Lauren and Floor Snap are halfway through lashing fucking giant bones to the side of the ship. What?
I hope you understand that what does make a ship heavier and will sink it deeper. You could capsize the ship still doing that.
Well, not
Not
very
if you
fluid
time it
ships.
properly.
Look, so what was that? Floor Snap?
Oh, I said not fluid in ship really yet. So no.
He nods and kind of looks over at Warren and goes, "Oh, trust me, my young youth in my raiding days, I saw ships go over with cargo like what you're trying to do. Even if you balance her out, and you make her go below a certain point, she's easier to tip by the winds and the waves."
But if we tie the bones so that they're slightly lower, they'll help lift the ship.
In theory, if you put it under the water, but then you get things on the bones and you get imperfections, the bones are no longer valuable. So he looks
That's
over.
at the Floor Snap.
He looks over to Floor Snap, kind of having heard him, but not kind of catching what he said. And kind of goes, look, kind of raises an eyebrow.
Considering for a second, taking in the back of the forces. I don't suppose you, as a self-proclaimed merchant prince, have a large place for me to put them? Seemingly to reproduce them when necessary? Perhaps in search of the pointy end and the enemies?
I don't have anything like those supposed pocket dimensions that the Dragon's Crown folks have been talking about. I don't even believe they actually have it. I think it's still a hypothesis at this point. But I do have warehouses that you can rent if you need places to store, if you have the spells to summon the items. I have no issue storing it for you. Flat fee, we call it good. You'd be renting the warehouse, say, for a full year.
There's a guy like shrug for a moment. It's like, yeah, sure. How much is it?
My average thing, about 1 gold piece for about a year's worth of rent.
Yeah, odd.
Takes
Another
it
gold.
from you.
Wait, sorry. Is that a gold per bone or?
No, that's per year. You know the average citizen here in Knighton only makes about a few coppers a month.
I once saw a prince who was decked head to toe in orichalcum. My concept of wealth is skewed.
I wish I had
I
been...
lean over to Floor Snap.
Uh-huh.
You might want to pay for 10 years now because of the amount of time it takes to travel on the ship.
What? I'm saying this from experience, as you kind of see a look in his eyes.
There's a guy like shrug, nod, it's like, here's 100. There's enough chance I might forget about it.
He nods and goes, oh, don't worry, I'll be alive long enough to remind you, as he pockets it and goes, I'll make sure the paperwork's sent to you so you have a copy of exactly where it'll be stored. As long as if there's any reconstruction to the town or any burning down, I'll cover any losses.
Got a nod. Alright, now then, Captain, how many bones do we have room for now?
Shh, I'm doing math.
Pulls out a pen, kind of looks up at you, ink pen still wet as he looks up and kind of shakes his head, says that, looks back down, goes back to writing things. Abacus out on the deck as he's like moving it about.
Yeah. I come from below decks with having just absconded with myself during all the shenanigans, and I come back with a bowl of awful giant soup that I'm eating. It's got giant heart, giant skin, and giant bone in it. Well, the bone is actually just part of the broth, so it's not really, there's not like bone sticking out of it, but the rest of it's there.
Mr. Brightby kind of looks over at you and looks down, looks back up at you and just kind of goes, delightful. Looks a little underprepared. You think you should cook it a bit more?
If you cook it too much, it loses its magic.
He nods. And goes, or as he kind of looks at you, you see a little bit of ick on his face as he tries to hold it back, not doing so, as he kind of looks back over at Wara and Floor Snap and continues and goes, by chance, you're not planning to eat the bones once you soak them in the ocean water, are you?
Oh, no. I just am going to hit people with them. Very hard.
I'm looking over at May, is happily eating away their soup, their diabolical soup, and looks over at you again and nods and goes, right. I think, it'll be good to know, as he looks over at Captain Azurus and goes, do you have your numbers, young man?
I am almost there.
He kind of looks over at May again, kind of staring at this dude, still slightly put off by it.
Because he keeps looking at me, being as that, I know exactly what May would do in this situation, because it's what I do in this situation. He keeps looking at me. Every time he looks at me, I'm already looking at him. But when he looks away, I look away. It's just that I'm so used to reading body language that, when he looks at me, I just look expectantly at him. So what he's seeing is me just staring at him while I'm eating the soup.
There's a little bit more worry in his face as he looks over. Now, I want to make clear, I have spent most of my years in this city. Rarely come across a group like yourselves. I am curious, what's your goal as a mercenary group? As he lightly scratches the beard on his chin, not trying to look over at May with all of his strength.
Oh, I'm on vacation.
Gain experience and redemption.
Okay, I have got your figure ready. This is also including the 20% increase already in the number.
Okay.
So grand total is 2,358,600.
Okay, that sounds about right. Send me, and then roughly about, is that all of your inventory, I assume?
That is every single valuable.
Damn!
Might as well
Man's
get rid of it.
taking no chances at a good deal. What was that, Floor Snap? Sorry.
Oh, I was just saying, it's like, might as well get rid of it. It's not doing anything in the hold.
True.
It is stagnant money, which if listen, I'm getting a 20% like above market price from this thing.
You're not wrong.
Like if I was to sell like most like the silver here to like anybody else, it'd be lower than market value.
True.
Yeah.
I do try and get a hold of the prince's attention whenever he's got a spare moment.
Yeah, as he kind of looking at this, kind of nods and go over at Captain Zurus and goes, yeah, that should be doable. If I can get your list of inventory, I'll have my men take off prepare the gold for you and can have it here by the evening if that would be fine.
Excellent.
It'll take me a moment as he kind of looks over at Floor Snap and goes, yes.
Do you happen to have a ship that you're not particularly interested in? There has been something I've been wanting to do since I saw these vessels, but they like kind of like give like a reproachful glare at like the sailors and everyone else that has like a care for their ship, not springing to life. Everyone told me it was a bad idea and that everything would go wrong.
All my stuff has been taken for the war effort. I don't have any ships left in town right now. Whatever's in my inventory is working.
Damn.
I'd be surprised if you'd be able to find a ship for miles.
Royce, do you want the list of the things I'm selling you, or can I just delete them off my sheet?
You can delete them off your sheet, but you can also copy and paste it over to me real quick.
All right, cool.
Because he's going to buy it all. Go ahead, sorry.
I just like mutter under my breath is like, one of these days I'm going to have a conversation with one of these fucking ships.
If you're interested, I recommend the Snowbeard lands. They build smaller ships and they sell them for a lot cheaper. Giant lands, giant sizes, giant prices. As he kind of looks over at May and goes, I can't help, but I do apologize. And he looks over at Floor Snap and kind of putting his hand up and says, excuse my rudeness. Would you be interested, young lady, in buying and acquiring more giant parts, or is that really all you are interested in needing?
Well, do you got any of the parts what have magic in them?
Most giants don't have any natural magic. I expect to come into a decent amount of giant parts here, though. I'm working with another group that is selling a bunch.
See, the problem is I'm only interested in the ones that have magical abilities coursing through them. If I was just interested in giant parts, I'd have almost as much meat as Floor Snap has bones. But I figured that the people we was helping, they would get to keep the meat and the bones and stuff like that of the ones that don't have magic, and I take the magic-y ones. Well, that would be a fair trade. That's how I ended up with this soup.
He nods, watching.
I've already eaten most of it.
He nods at that and kind of goes, well, I'm going to have a massive shipment I expect here in the next week coming through. If you're at all interested, make sure to come back and stop by. I may have plenty that you can sift through. Pick and take what you want, pay for what you need, and call it even. Not many buyers for giant meat in these lands, as you can probably imagine.
Shame that.
I don't know. I don't like the idea of people eating my kind, but money is money.
When he says people eat my kind, my eyes narrow, as if I hadn't considered that he was a giant. Even though, it's clear that I did. It's just, There's just something about the way that he said that where it's like, huh, I never thought of that before. Like my eyes narrow and I tilt my head and it's like, huh.
You can't. Go ahead, Floyd.
That was the where you stopped eating each other. Muzzle tough.
He nods and goes, "Many things have changed since the days of your people existing, I imagine."
Yeah, you know how it is. You start paying less attention the older you get.
I find my wits get sharper. These merchants get duller. One of the two. I met with a younger fellow today that, in a fit that bill, runs the biggest global conglomerate I've seen so far. But as dumb as a rock.
Short fellow? No, this tall.
He nods.
Ah, yes.
Yes, but he's promising. He's still young. A few centuries under his belt will change that, I imagine. He kind of stands up, stepping over to the edge of the boat and walking down off the deck and goes, "My men will be over within the hour to collect what we can take. The bones I'll have taken with me with the guards I have here. We'll get them stored in town and the paperwork will be sent over as well as the coin.
Excellent.
Take what you can store with the bones. I'll take the rest with me and put it into a proper warehouse." As he looks up at Floorsnap, expecting him to take from the cart that's still kind of sitting on the dock.
I was gonna like glance over to Azurus. Is like, well, how much are we keeping? Eh? If it helps, think of them as protection for the vessel as well. They're not just dead cargo.
About how much pounds is one bone? Just so I can have an idea.
Alright, so we figured out it's 15% of the weight. The guy was 125 tons, which is, let me see how much ton is to poundage exact, because I can never remember if it's an exact
2,000.
count. Is it 1,000? Okay.
2,000 pounds per ton.
So that'd be times 2, so we got 250,000 pounds, roughly. We times that by 0.15. How many bones are in the body? I know there used to be a song we sang in gym class for that. I don't remember it though.
203.
Thank you. Divide by...
No, it's 206.
Oh, so, okay.
How many dicks do you have in you?
Hey, who knows? Maybe giants have 3 less bones. I don't know.
So it's about each bone weighs about 182 pounds on average.
Okay.
And that's not
straight.
Yeah.
Keep the straight ones.
All right, but we're absolutely keeping the ribs because they look cool.
All right, ribs, femurs, radius, ulna, those kind of ones. We don't need to, have a whole bunch of phalanges around the ship.
They do make for good comets.
You get your long bones, that's it. I still got to keep room on the ship for future cargo, all right? If it's just ammunition lying around, what good are we when we're taking the take?
Look, sometimes you don't appreciate the journey. It's just all about the results.
That's what I'm all about, my friend.
All right, fine. Pound-wise, what are we looking at? Yeah, I have plenty.
All right, let's see. I'll let you have... I'll let you have 1,000 pounds of cargo space for your bones.
6 bones.
Nope. There you go. You get to
Measure it out.
Yep, gotta pick your 6 favorite bones out of them all.
That is a fourth of my entire cargo space, so be grateful.
You'll probably be grateful whenever I'm using them to defend us.
Probably. You could also, if you wish, at least with the ribs, might be able to adorn the gunwales with them as a decoration. At least so they're, right there and ready on all sides of the ship. Not really being taken up in the cargo bay.
Upside, they still be along the ribs of it. Hopefully.
Yeah, I would assume it would be quite inconvenient to have all of your ammunition down in the hold.
But well, also I have this, and I would just like pull out, or just like kind of like motion to like the giant fucking bone club.
Oh yes, the actual giant club made of bone that the mountain giant was carrying. I believe
That's
it's slightly
right.
enchanted.
It's dragon bone. That's just personal equipment, though.
Yeah, that's just listen. Yeah, that's fine. Do whatever you want with that.
I just wanted to brag.
It's a very nice club. Well, I need to find 7 more crew members to make sure I have a full crew. These men have been working hard, and they deserve to at least have some rest while we're at, sea. Perhaps I can find some more to fill out my second ship. Because there's only 11 gentlemen over there. They could do for another, what?
Mr. Brightby kind of standing still by the bones as you kind of explain this. Florence speaks up and goes, "If you're looking, Captain, there was a group that just came in from King's End. A couple of mercenaries that joined up. A young lady by the name of Rain showed up in town a few days after. As well as there's some young Rakshasa named Jin Tree that's supposedly a capable druid, as well as Crump, the notorious Crump Senior supposedly is in town, as well as a few others if you're looking for work. All mercenaries coming over from King's End that are looking to get out of town, from my understanding."
People are trying to get out from King's End right now?
Oh, not King's End, Knighton. He nods and goes, "Yes, with the War of a God," and he looks over towards the mountain where you see, it literally can hear the loud, like, thump, almost like a howitzer going off in the distance. As he kind of looks back at you and goes, "Gods make people nervous."
Yeah. Our next stop is heading over to King's End ourselves to see what we can about outfitting our ship a little bit, maybe even getting another ship.
He nods and goes, "Well, if you're interested, I can make an introduction."
That would be kind, however, I do not think we'll be staying in this port longer than today.
He shrugs and goes, "Your choice. If you change your mind, though, there's always some capable individuals around town, as I've been told."
If you don't mind, how should I contact you in the future, in case of setting up another section of the guild in other countries?
The Bright Collective Guild has connections in most towns. Find the Merchant Guild in town, ask about us, and you'll probably find a representative somewhere.
Excellent. Royce, can I actually get the name of
it?
Gentleman's Guild written down so I have actually a note to take?
Yep. Here. Just for your own note, so you have his name, because someone's going to ask about this at some point, and you're going to wish I had.
I know, because I'm notorious for forgetting things like this.
And if you want the rest, you can go on the Settlement of Knighton page, and he is listed on there with the Adventuring Guild information.
Alright, cool. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. Important note for your own is that he is associated with a group called the Littlefoot Merchants. Why is that important? Well, you'll learn that later.
Bird.
Oh no, is it the Little Hand Part 2?
No. Saturday has already met the Littlefoot Merchants. It's just something that you guys may run into depending on where you go.
All right. Hey, this is great, my dear fellow players. This is not me as Azores. Being able to open up fences around the world for us. My God, ain't this great? Not having to worry about where to sell our ill-gotten gains.
I need gains to do that first. You're taking all my bones away from me.
I'm not taking them. They can't fit.
Mr. Brightby kind of smiles and goes, "If you change your mind, Captain Azurus, let me know. I'm happy to gather up the mercenaries and send them towards your ship if to be met with. But if not, there are locals amongst the docks that are good hands that'll make you a decent amount.
Mhm. I'll certainly keep an eye out for these mercenaries, but I'm looking for sailors, not fighters right now. Both would be a tremendous boon, I'll tell you what.
From my understanding, the only ones I think that have any experience was Rain used to work under the Ironheart Merchant Company, and from my understanding, had a tryst with the legendary Dragon Layer, apparently himself, that didn't go well, so she's got a bit of a spice for him, but she was supposedly a hand of his. Beyond that...
Did you say Dragon Layer?
Yes. If you happen to go to Diamond's Death, there's a business, a guild, across from Minithinks. The name escapes me. You'll see a little garden out front, probably an older kobold lady still sitting there. Last time I was there. The gal who runs it, her name's Essa. She's a notorious mercenary that works under Greg's Maritom directly, supposedly. Some even believe that she's a secret lover, although I don't think those rumors have much to do with it. I think Greg's Maritom could only be in love with himself. But, supposedly, James managed to tame this wild beast, or rather, I think more of the belief is that he was tamed by her. Apparently his crew has spoken to it a few times. I asked some of them myself, even. One of them told me that they even saw it.
Thank you for this information, Mr. Brightbee.
Mm-hmm.
Pleasure to make your acquaintance, and pleasure for making a fine deal.
He nods, and kind of looking over at the bones, kind of looking up at Floor Snap, and goes, "I'll send my men to collect later. It seems my business is done here." As he smiles and continues on waving as he walks away.
Goodbye. Have a good day.
You know, Floor Snap, we could probably take. Do you have the skull?
Yeah, I probably would have tried to take the skull.
All right, cool. We could adorn that as a part of the figurehead. I think that'd make a pretty intimidating little thing, yeah?
Yeah, probably.
Or would you rather eat soup out of the cranium?
I'll be honest with you, we could all bathe in that thing.
I say, as you look down on it, the only thing I will note is it has a large M carved into it.
Oh, never mind that. It's been marked.
Yes, it is. Well, a jaguar crawled out of his ass bush, and he was sworn to Meadmancer.
Oh, huh?
Oh, yes. He's a pseudo lich, I think. Yeah, cursed to never come back. Also, apparently a geldling. Meadmancer seems to have chopped off his male parts and, gilded him as well as gilded.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. You see anyone with the Meadmancer symbol on them, you shouldn't let them on the ship.
Yeah, I kind of recently got rid of the Meadmancer off my ship recently.
Well, I'm just saying that, like, my face scrunches up as I consider whether I should tell Azurus of this or not, because, like, it is a cognito hazard.
Well, nonetheless, Floor Snap, do you think it'd really be a good idea to have lich bones on my ship? They're not gonna, come back or anything like that, right?
Oh, he's going to, like, reconstitute, probably. Yeah, it doesn't.
Not with these, but different stuff, right? If they're gonna be reconstituting with this shit, I don't want it to happen here.
Well, some of them's already been eaten, so it'd be a little weird and awkward.
Also, there's several hundred miles between some of his nearest parts. Considering the Ironhearts took most of his skin, generally, I don't know. Bony people typically recreate a little body for themselves before they come back.
All
the
right.
magic does it. It's whatever. That's why it's on high level.
Usually from the other stuff, yeah. From some other dead buggers.
Probably.
Well, I would like you two to think on if there's anything you want to do in town before we head out this evening. I definitely have put off this conversation with Wara for a little too long, and I think it needs to happen sooner rather than later. Wara, can you please see me in my quarters?
Oh,
Should
of
we
course.
be there?
No.
I just like kind of lean down the mail hill. It's like, don't worry, I have a great idea.
Alrighty.
If you don't mind, I'm going to actually use the restroom.
No worries. We'll take a quick 5-minute break. For those who need it, we'll be back in a minute. Let's start. All right, we return back. All right. As getting the name down, so with everything going on, and you now kind of having a decision of what your cargo you're gonna sell, Wara and Captain Azurus kind of heading into the captain's quarter as they step away. Crump kind of being shooed out and following alongside May and Floor Snap to figure out what they're up to as Azurus and Wara disappear. We'll cut to Azurus and Wara in a second because Wara just stepped away, I think literally a moment ago.
I
So,
can still talk.
oh, I thought you said you stepped away. My apologies.
No.
Oh, okay. Never mind then. Well, first off, I do want to hear, as the doors are shut behind them and Captain Azurus and Wara kind of go into the captain's quarters, Floorstep May, what's the plan?
All right. There are technically some docked ships. I'm gonna go talk to a couple of them.
I like this. Just a little spot of fun just before we leave. I like that.
I like make the gesture of like I'm tapping my nose, but I obviously don't, so it's just kind of like over the air of my face.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I saw somebody do that once. I know that it's supposed to be a secretive gesture. Just pretend I'm doing it right.
Alrighty.
All right.
We just do like the full Pink Panther.
Begin to like walk, kind of tiptoe away and out of the ship. So what are you doing here, Floor Snap? Exactly.
I want to go talk to a ship in slot.
So we're
Oh no. Okay.
we're huddled, right?
All right.
Which means I have physical contact with Floor Snap. I touch him and cast Greater Invisibility on him, and as my second action this turn, I cast Greater Invisibility on myself, and we leave. I keep contact with him, though.
Okay.
So, I know where he is.
As you two begin to tiptoe out, you see 3 ships still docked other than your own. The first, Zell's and Son, the one you guys had kind of gone on and partied a little bit. The second, the Iron Warden. The third, the First Finger, with a black hand as its kind of flag.
I remember.
What do we know about these people again? I remember we got information about them, so...
Yeah, Zell's and Son, from what you guys had gained, was somewhat of a party ship, as it seemed. Kind of, it looked like he was a capable merchant and was meeting with individuals who seemed to know Floor Snap, specifically being Kaijin, as well as, of course, having Kaijin on his ship.
Yes?
He
came back. I thought he left.
Kaijin did leave, yeah, but I'm saying is when you were there, he was on the ship, is what I was referencing.
I meant the ship. I thought the ship left because we went back looking for it.
Zell's has returned, yes, and there is a reason for that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Then there is the Iron Warden, which, to your note, you guys learned they work under the Ironheart, the big merchant company that's got the massive global conglomerate that's like led by the ruthless Ironheart Snowbeard. And then the last one, you didn't get anything other than the fact that they had a bunch of kobolds kind of walking about and working on it that were black-scaled, and nothing else because you guys didn't seem to be interested in the slightest.
Oh, let's fuck with that one.
Great.
Alright, as you head down to the end of the docks, kind of walking and tiptoeing over, give me a... Oh, actually, no. Never mind. Yeah, give me a move silent check. I have a chance, I think.
Excellent. You get a -1 for every 10 feet we are away from them.
I know. I'm keeping that in my mind, yep. I think you also get like a plus 10 or something like that with greater invisibility or something.
Actually, I'll pick us both up so that we're not even making contact with the floor.
Oh, you gotta... Oh, okay.
I can fly as well. So
As you two, well, then you do not have to roll. As you two begin to kind of lightly float over, what do you say to the ship?
It's like testing, 1, 2. How is your day?
Okay, we're gonna come back to that in a moment as you begin to hear the wood cracking and screaming coming from inside, as if something's just been stabbed through the chest at a surprise. We'll be back in a moment as we jump back over to Captain Azurus and War, where it's a little more peaceful, though the tension in the air seems thick. The sounds of a Crump kind of seemingly nowhere to be seen, but always to be heard, as his annoyed of not being in the room and being stuck on the other side can be loudly heard as he complains. But as you two find yourself in a room together, no one else seems to be listening as you kind of watch the door, kind of checking it, Azurus. Kind of looking back over at Wara, who I imagine is just kind of standing there waiting at attention.
Please, Wara, sit down.
Okay, Captain. As I take a seat.
Yep.
Wara, what are you? What is your job?
When the ship is sailing, to help the ship, and when we're in a fighting stage, I fight.
Okay. What's your job with Regan? What is who are you to him?
I was a mercenary for him, and did some work with Proton, who was my commander at the time. And then they told me to come over and talk to you guys, and then I joined you.
Okay, I like to clear. So he was your commander. So you weren't a mercenary, you were a soldier, or was he kind of like your just contact?
So Houghton was in charge of the mercenaries, and I
Okay.
was a mercenary under that group.
Okay. So as a mercenary, what do you hold above all? What is your goal as a mercenary? Is it gold, glory? What are you after?
Experience and redemption.
Azur's kind of pacing back and forth as he's kind of saying this and looking back at War every time he kind of comes to a stop, finishing as he speaks. Go ahead, sorry.
Experience. So, what did experience and redemption have to do with you telling Roten about the vessel that we got our hands on?
I apologize for this, Captain. Houghton and I were good comrades, and I kind of forgot myself, and I gave a bit too much information away. And so for that, I apologize.
How much money did I give you when we got to port? If you would be so kind as to remind me of the thousands of gold pieces given to you in pay.
For the time at sea, I believe you gave me 1,600 gold, Captain.
1,600.
I'm actually looking back through my notes right now to see if I can find it, because I know I wrote it down somewhere.
Because we got a lot more than 1,600. I'm almost positive you got a higher cut than that. If you didn't, then we'll continue. But
no, I'm gonna.
He's checking his math. Give him a moment.
yeah, let me see if I can also look.
There's that. Okay.
Well, it'd be easy. You just gotta look at what Vicarette got paid.
Yeah, right.
Here, let me look.
I think
Yeah, go ahead.
No, because Wara got paid less.
yeah, Wara got paid less because Vicaret is like
Vicar had a higher job position.
Yeah, Vigrant's like third or fourth in the chain of command.
I was considered just a regular hand.
You were a militant or a militarist, which is better. You still get more pay
No,
than.
wasn't it like 10 or 11K? Because didn't Dudes also get paid when you guys made Doc?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Dudes didn't have any cash before you guys made Doc, I believe. So I think the 11K, I think it was 11,852 coins. Gold.
11,721 and 4 copper.
That's it. Okay, so it was a little
That's
less.
what it
Yeah,
was.
that's it. Okay, so I was like, I'm pretty sure it was high because I'm looking at like Dudes' sheet and I'm like, oh.
I was like, 1,600 does not sound right to me.
Hey,
Yeah.
Justin, do me a favor, real quick. Remind me later to thank Dudes for not deleting his character sheet.
All
But
right.
yeah, as he kind of recounts as War kind of thinks for a moment and then says the amount out loud.
So, was I not deserving? Did I not pay enough for discretion? Or something for you to even consider that the words you speak might do hundreds of dollars worth of damage?
As I said, Captain, I apologize. I forgot myself. And with Proton, I sort of was reminiscing about the time that we used to work together and gave more information than I should have, and I do apologize for that, as I said.
What am I supposed to do with you now?
I leave that to your discretion, Captain. I have no leg to stand on to argue.
What would you, if someone was working under you and they gave away vital information, how would you punish them?
Well, to me, Captain, it would depend on were we at war with the person the information was given to. If that was the case, they would basically be considered a traitor, and then they would be killed.
Well, good
If
thing
it
we're
was,
not at war with Regan Uthan then.
yes, I'm very happy with that, Captain. In the other case, you could dock my pay. Anytime we're at shore, you prohibit my movements. You make sure someone goes with me at all times.
Okay. So then here's what I'm going to do.
Hmm.
From King's End, we're going to set sail for some other continent. Whatever that continent is, any prize that we get in between, you will see no share this time
So
around.
base pay, no bonus.
Yes, I think a gold per day. Actually, no. No, I think this is a punishment. No pay. You'll still get room, board, everything you need to survive. And if you need something else to be purchased and you don't have enough cash, just let me know. We'll see what can be done because I prefer you to still be well equipped. But I got to figure out some way to hopefully make sure that a breach of information doesn't happen again.
I understand, Captain.
Excellent. Now, on top of that, I do have to say I am grateful for this written recommendation. So, I'm not sure how I reward you for that after punishing you.
In the background, crying at the door, saying, "Take his rum."
So actually, now you're saying that, Royce, I was gonna take away his rum. I was going to take away your rum privileges. So,
Oh,
so
Captain.
your reward for getting me this written recommendation is that I don't take away your rum privileges.
Oh, thank you, Captain. I enjoy a glass of rum every night with the lads.
So let it be known that I am not a cruel captain when dishing out punishments, then, and I am just with my rewards.
I have
Is
always
there-
thought you fair and just, Captain.
That's what I like to hear, Wara. And I hope I can
Um,
trust you in the future with information. Because next time, I won't be so just and fair.
I understand, Captain. Might I leave the ship to go talk to Drekken?
Certainly.
And if you'd like, Crump can come with me.
Yeah, because he's trustworthy.
Hey, May, you're not here. Hush.
Shut up! You're not here. You don't.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, no, not at all. Go ahead. Actually, I have to head over to the tavern too. I gotta see if I can get a couple of men signed on today.
I'm only going to be speaking to Drekken about the note that came in from Reagan Utham about guarding the city.
Yes, your pay. I remember you telling me something briefly about that. Certainly.
And I'll be more than happy to give half of it to you, Captain.
I want none of your money. You're probably going to need it. I have no problem with the cash you've made on the side.
I am
It's not
looking
coming out of
to
my
possibly upgrade some of my equipment.
And I hope your upgrades go smoothly. Of course, remember, be back by tonight before we make sail over to King's End. Got
Of
it?
course, Captain.
Alright, get out of here.
I stand up, salute, turn around, and head out.
As
And on
you,
the way out, I
Mhm.
grab Crump.
as you kind of open the door, you feel something kind of like lightly smack or take a thud as something falls back, and as you open the door, you see Crump kind of laying there, patting his head or like patting his head as he looks up at you.
Oh, Crump, just the person I'm looking for. Come here. I pick him up.
Shit, no! But the captain, help! Being kidnapped again, Captain.
Crump, make sure he doesn't get into trouble. I trust you.
Really?
Me and Crump on the same page.
Until you make me believe otherwise.
He kind of looks up at Warren and goes, "What did you do?"
I became too friendly with an old contact.
Nods at that, and you see a concerned look on his face as he looks back. Eyes slightly narrowed, his brow narrowed down, looking over towards the captain as they head above deck.
What kind of hell did you... What did you do to make me look after you?
As Captain Azuris kind of closes the door down below, taking a moment, breathing, Wara heading above deck. We cut over to Floorsnap and May real quick as the ship begins to crack and a strange malformed face begins to crookedly break into the wood and sculpt itself as you hear the screams and grinding from the other side or from the inside of the ship as people above deck start freaking out and running around. The ship does not seem to say anything, but a strange and almost sloth-like face appears on it as the kobold-like shape morphs and changes it.
I just give like a low appreciative whistle with somebody that doesn't actually have lips, I think. And say, "You look fantastic."
You see, the ship kind of almost snaps slightly in half, at the center, where the wood begins to pull itself into strange long legs, as the inhabitants begin to scream further as metal and wood twists inside.
You are a
Yeah.
trifle short, though. You should grow.
It continues to crack and expand, flattening itself. As you see, for a moment, a kobold look over, his black scales beginning to glow, his sorcerer robes beginning to glow, archmage robes that you recognize for our second floor snap, as he looks down at you and Maine, like almost looks you in your eyes, as suddenly the wood beneath cracks out and you just hear screams and see magic explode out, as well as a fountain of blood, as the ship flattens itself down into a almost very forward, or those little dart frog like shape, with massive bulging eyes that seem to be a mix of like what looks to be blood kind of coming down from the bits of bone and guts kind of leaking out of this creature as it forms itself.
Do I hear this?
Yes, as the screams and cracking are almost as loud as the mountain slams in the distance that have been kind of causing the ground to quake all day.
Me looking out my back window in the captain's quarters, like, what the fuck?
I just like look around. It's like, shit, we're busted. Quick, hide.
Well, as you look over, coming above deck, you just see this ship flatten itself and morph into what looks like a dart frog out of nowhere as people begin screaming in horror and bits of blood begin to fountain out of the thing. Crump looks at you in horror and just looks over and then looks at you again and goes, "What did you do?"
I didn't do that. I was about to ask you what you did.
He looks at you and goes, "I think this is trouble. Let's go. I think we need to go back down below deck."
No, we need to go to the tavern. Further away. Let's
No.
just go further away.
No, you kind of just carry him as he can't really fight you. I have a -2 to my strength check. I'm not gonna try.
Oh gosh.
Floor Snap and May, as you come walking, kind of retreating back quickly, seeing kind of the guards beginning to run over there and the other crews beginning to take notice. You see Wara beginning to kind of walk off speedily with a, like, almost pale-looking Crump who's staring back at the ship and then back at your ship. And confused, worried, but they seem to be heading towards the end. Captain Azura's kind of climbing above deck and looking over in horror.
I did have one thing I wanted to say on the ship before I left.
Yeah.
I was like, go, be free. You are your own person now.
As
Don't
they
let anyone keep you down. Rise above it, brother.
As you begin to fall back, you watch as Warwick kind of turning his head, not wanting to see what's going on, kind of focusing on his mission to get to the end. Crump and Azura's kind of looking back as May and Floorstep, still invisible, kind of retreat back. You see as this creature makes a strange cracking and almost like metal grounding on metal sound, as it sounds like a roar as the creature's mouth comes agape. Little bits of skeleton and bones exploding out, and blood and bits of metal from these creatures, as the thing then dives down into the water, disappearing into the very deep river and vanishing out of sight.
I'll give it a salute as it leaves.
Azurus, this is about probably the second or third most horrifying thing you've seen at this point, I imagine.
Yeah.
Give me
This is
what's your
probably
alignment?
I think it's. Let me double check. It is evil, that's for certain.
Yeah, what kind of
neutral evil.
Okay, never mind then. I was making sure. I already checked the other two, so.
Yeah, because I'm definitely. It's not that I'm like horrified, but this is
gruesome.
very. It's gruesome. It's very fucking weird.
As you watch, it's almost like some sort of mage or something just came over to that ship. And by the way, for your own note, the Black Hand is a pirate ship. well-known pirate ship for a mercenary group called the Black Hand. Sorry, not the First Finger ship is a well-known ship for the or pirate ship for the Black Hand mercenary group.
Yeah, like because that's like Blackbone Augs type people, right? Or is that?
Oh no, the Black
Kobold?
Hand are the guys
Kobolds,
backed.
Kobolds. Yeah.
Backed by Movasi and his family. As they're kind of a middle, like a Sicilian mafia in Italy.
Yeah.
Well,
Honestly,
I don't
Azores
think
is.
Good news.
First Finger's well known for that anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, good news is your party did not get spotted as that thing goes below.
I mean that's good. Yeah, honestly, Azores is actually would probably be more upset about the utter destruction of a beautiful ship than the actual lives lost on that vessel.
Well, I would also point that the other two ships that are merchant ships haven't been touched, but the pirate ship just got crushed. As you are already kind of thinking about leaving here shortly, this might compound a bit more of your thought process.
Are there any survivors crawling around?
No.
Oh, awesome, cool. Because I was gonna choke on cinders them if there were any.
No, as the thing goes below deck, catching them by surprise, they couldn't react quick enough, and most of them, the ones in the middle deck wearing full plate, could not get up and out fast enough to escape. So with as the thing disappears below deck, a couple of the guards kind of running over a Arctic beard or a snowbeard dwarf with a bit of ice under his beard, kind of looking over at you lot. As he comes behind him a large giant with almost purplish red skin that seems to kind of stare at you for a moment, a bow on his back as well as a trident at his hip, both kind of looking at you over at you, Captain Azurus. Go ahead, May. Sorry.
When we get back on the ship, as soon as we're through the deck doors and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna drop greater invisibility and turn 180 on my heels and walk out like I just came from below decks.
Give me a. Do you have perform actor? If not, I'll take a bluff check.
I do have bluff.
I'll take bluff. I'll take a bluff check. As you two rush onto the ship as quickly as possible, trying to avoid bumping into Captain Azurus, who just watches in a little bit of concern, horror, and worry, as well as sadness for the poor, beautiful ship.
27, baby!
As you're kind of standing there, Azurus, as you see the guard captain kind of showing up with his his small backing of a few squads, a couple of frost giants, some snowbeards, and a couple of kobolds kind of behind him, a total of 20 guys from what you can tell. The 2.5 feet tall snowbeard kind of looks up at you, his ice beard kind of glimmering as it does, as you look over at him, kind of catching May out of the corner of your eye, just walking up out of the from the middle deck, seemingly just looking like they just ate something.
Oh, I feasted, all right.
Oh shit.
The captain kind of looking up at you and goes, "Are you Captain Azurus of the Red Lady?"
Yeah, that's me.
My name is Captain Vind. I'm the guard captain here in Knighton. I got to ask, what just happened?
I don't know. I just watched a ship turn into a frog.
You see some of these sailors across at the other ship kind of nod along at that, kind of looking in horror.
And then swim away with all of the crew inside of it. I think there was crunches and screams. That's just not natural. That shouldn't happen. That poor ship should be floating.
Give me a diplomacy check, Captain Azurus.
Yeah.
See if see if Captain Vin thinks you're sincere, or if this is an act.
That would be a 25.
Kind of looks up at you and nods and goes, I assume by your shock then it wasn't you. I'll need a list of your entire crew to make sure and where their whereabouts were during this situation. Any especially magic casters. We're gonna be doing mind readings probably for the rest of the night and into tomorrow.
Huh. Well, can you start with my crew now? So, because we gotta be somewhere.
He nods and goes, "Yeah, if this is all of your crew, I'll need accountability of them for the last hour."
Yeah, the only ones who shouldn't be on board right now are my first mate, Wara, and my craftsman, Vicarette. Vicarette's dealing with, I think, the Ironhearts right now.
I've met them. Not the brightest bunch.
And Wara and Crump are heading over to the tavern to be with Drekken.
Alright, well, if they return before we're done, they'll be taken care of while we're here. If they don't, I'll have men stationed on your ship that'll keep you from leaving until then.
Yeah, besides that, everybody on this ship has, well, at least last I saw them, were all here. I know, as for my crew, they've been all here working. The cook's been working. My two new crew members, I mean, last I left them, they were on the ship when I went to go talk to War a little bit ago.
I nod. I last Azura saw us. We were there. That's where we were.
Vin kind of looking up and nods and goes, "Fine. I'll have my men begin to do some thought rating immediately as he starts to kind of or shuffle his men up onto the deck."
Yeah, if you need anything, please let me know. I'm gonna be reading over some reports in my quarters.
He nods as he begins to kind of walk through, sending his men through. We'll come back to you lot in a moment as we jump over real quick to Wara and Crump. As the two of you head over to the Last Fire Inn, kind of heading up to the building, you see as it's quite busy, but many of the onlookers kind of standing outside looking towards the port as they seem to watch in horror at whatever's going on. Crump still kind of dangling to your arm as you pull him along. But as you kind of push through Wara into the inn itself, Drekken kind of seems to be sitting at one of the tables, just kind of enjoying a drink as there's no one inside, seemingly eating or drinking. It's almost quiet and peaceful.
Daylight come and me one go home. Hey, Drekken. Want to have a word with you.
He nods, and Crump, looking up at you, kind of just goes, "Oh, thank God he finally stopped." But as you kind of take over to take a seat at the table with Drekken, Crump kind of scrambling away to go over to the bar and grab himself something. Drekken kind of smiles as he pushes his glass over towards you. A thick, what smells like cinnamon and cherry-like wine that he looks to be pouring himself another glass of as he begins.
He poured me a glass as well?
Yeah.
Okay, I take a sip. Thank you. Nice.
Smiles at you. It's quite young as he kind of looks at you though, and smiles and goes, "I made it myself. What can I? Oh, you're here about the letter, right?"
Yes, and I put my hands around the glass, warming it up.
He kind of watches as you do, smiling, and goes,
And then I take another sip as it warms up, and I go, "Ah, yes, just like I thought. When it's warmer, it tastes better."
Kind of looks at you kind of funnily, like with an eyebrow raised, and goes, "Interesting. Not a fan of warm. I like mine iced personally, but ice is, well, was sometimes hard to come across, but not as much as it has been. Yes, to the pointed hand. I have the payment I was told to offer you. As he kind of leans down at chest, kind of at his feet that he seems to pull open, and as he does, setting a sack of gold down, he also sets what looks to be a piece of papyrus with the stamp of Regan Utham upon it. As he looks at you and goes, the paper is for your request. As to the payment, this is to cover any injuries or problems that you may have had during the battle. Regan Utham is very well aware that the Spell Scroll shop is quite expensive and wants to make sure that you're taken care of after the work you've done. But the if you would like to describe an item, specifically a weapon of sorts that you are looking for, if you can provide the materials, Regan Utham has stated he is happy to craft you something at his personal smithy by one of his apprentices that you'll be able to use. However, of course, you'll have to provide the materials for what you want made.
I understand. Thank you. The issue would be not just the delivery of the materials, but then picking up the item after the fact, as apparently we're leaving port this evening.
Oh, that won't be an issue. Regan Utham keeps tabs on almost all of his contacts. Plus, he's got connections with Greg's Martum, the Merchant King, or, well, self-proclaimed, as I've been told. But he is, I believe, has connections with most of the guilds globally. And if he can't, the Ironheart Merchant Company, who also globally attaches itself to Regan Utham, has a decent enough network that we should be able to get in touch. So if you want to have the letter delivered while in town, you should be able to find a courier or something of the sort.
I pocket the letter and I open the sack of money.
As you do, looking inside, it is all gemstones. So actual coin for reference, not using silver coins. So as Drekken kind of smiles at you and goes, "You can count it. It's all there. Though do count quickly as he looks back at Crump, who is as you see into his third glass of a very thick, dark brown liquid, and kind of lightly jostling side to side as he smiles over at you, kind of lightly cheering the glass up as some of it spills down and then downing it. As Draken kind of looks back at you and goes, "I think your compatriot doesn't have much longer."
He never does. How much value is actually in the bag?
500,000 GP.
All right.
It's just a distinction that the world uses gemstone coins.
Yeah, no, I understand. Just wondering if there's someone that sorry, hitting the wrong tab.
Mm-hmm.
Just wondering if there's someone in town who can quickly upgrade a weapon.
I mean, so long as you're fine with any minor side effects, I know someone who can give you great upgrades for very cheap prices. One of the best smiths I've ever seen.
When you say side effects, are they good or bad?
You don't mention side effects if they're good. He's a cursed smith is what we call him, but he can make an item that'll give you amazing abilities. It just has major downsides. I saw one of the items that was picked up, an Unholy Avengers, what was called by someone. Customer walked out and was able to take down a Eldritch Giant in a single blow right here in the tavern.
Okay.
Yeah, but what
Thinking I know who he's speaking of.
Mm-hmm.
What about someone that sells very strong items that are not cursed or have a side effect?
He nods, catching your meaning at that, and goes, beyond bronze, I believe. Scratches under the chin for a second, lightly thinking, goes, there was a merchant in town, a fella by the name of Jocks. I think his shop is still somewhere, yeah, the cross candles should be closer towards the port. In fact, actually, he just got a new apprentice. What was the boy's name? Alfie, I think, or something like that. Your compatriot Vicarette came by, was asking about him. I sent her his way.
Okay.
But Jock sells all sorts of stuff. I think that's where your captain got his coat, if I was hearing Jock speak about it correctly. You shocked he was sold that.
Okay. Then our business is concluded.
He nods and
As I
smiles.
stand up and go over to Crump to carry Crump again.
He does not resist this time as he is laying down into his fourth glass that is half empty as you pick him up, keeping him from drowning in the very thick whiskey.
Bro's a drinker. I respect that.
You kind of carry him off just by the scruff of his neck, kind of walking, lightly swinging him as you hear him groan down below.
As I make sure that his mouth is facing away from me, so if he upchucks, it's to hit the ground and not me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna head to the ship.
Okay.
My plan is to drop Crump off, because now he's no use in watching me. Grab one of the crewmen and then go to the cross candles.
All right. As you start heading down the road, as you kind of find yourself at the very end of the street of Utham's Way, seeing the dock and seeing the ship, you see as Captain Vind, this 2.5 foot looking snowbeard, kind of seems to be standing guard at the ship's entrance, or ship's galley deck, or gangplank. That's what I'm looking for. As he kind of stands there, a bunch of guards kind of walking about that seem to bear Utham's mark, as well as a almost blackened wolf symbol, seemingly kind of down in the corner of it, representing this town's own mayor's sigil. As the guard captain, kind of noticing you walk over, immediately seems to speak up and goes, "I didn't think I'd see an Arctic beard here. Who are you and who do you work for?" As he looks at you, Wara.
Beard. Arctic beard.
But
But okay.
nope. But remember,
I know. I'm just talking to myself. Arctic beard. Also add to the list. My name is Wara, Clawbreaker, and I work for Captain Azurus. And this here drunk fellow is Crump, the first mate.
Okay.
I'm here to drop Crump off, grab another crew member, and go to the crossed candles.
He nods and goes, if you work under the Captain Azurus and the Red Lady, I'm sorry, but you're being requiesced currently. You'll be having your mind read to make sure you had nothing to do with what just happened in the ship's disappearance of the First Finger.
I know nothing. I know nothing.
He looks at you and just kind of shakes his head and goes, "It doesn't matter, sir. Even if you are one of my own race, I must take you into possession. Or possession. Wow. Questioning, thank you.
Custody?
Custody was the word I was actually looking for. Thank you. Yeah, there we go. No, I got you. As he kind of looks down at you and kind of ushers you onto the deck. As
What do you mean
see...
looks down at me?
Well, technically, from his perspective,
He's
he
2.5 foot tall.
Is that a short joke you make out loud?
You said it.
No, I know I did. That's why I'm asking
character.
specifically.
I'm asking out of character. What do you
Okay.
mean he's looking down at me?
He is looking down at you, as in at 2.5 feet tall. He seems to believe that your height and you are around his height.
He's not making eye contact with you as he speaks to you.
Basically, yeah, he's staring at your knees.
Oh.
So my
It
eyes are
now
up here.
finally dawns on me.
Yeah, you catching? All right, gotcha.
God.
Yep.
I didn't realize it worked that well.
It doesn't normally. In fact, this is the first time Wara's ever seen it work like this.
Wow. Okay. He's not surprised I'm carrying Crump.
Not
So
in the
easily?
slightest.
Okay. All right. Fine. If I'm detained on the ship, then move aside.
And looks at you and goes, "Are you trying to make a joke at my height?"
Move aside is not about height. It is about left and right positioning.
And glares at you and goes,
So are you making fun of his weight?
just staring at your knee and goes, "Just remember, we're the same height, you bastard." Yeah. He puts his fingers up to his eyes and then to your knees and like taps your knee.
That may be true, but I have the moral high ground.
That tickled.
He stares at you and like steps aside angrily. What's the 14 for? You just rolling? Oh, sarcasm. Okay. He kind of smiles
Skill,
at
I'm
you.
gonna use it now.
Yeah, no, that's fair. He smiles at you and kind of looks at the other rest of the crew. Looking over, alright, I need will saves from all of those who are going to refuse to have their mind read. Which I imagine, specifically, is 2 individuals.
Does it help if I only think it's Slod?
No. It does help that you're ancient as shit, so digging through your mind is about as complicated as trying to figure out a 1,000-year-old Rubik's Cube.
Okay, I need to know if their
Okay, what's
mind
it?
reading effect is enchantment based. I don't think it is. Most of them aren't. Like 99.999% of them are not. But
Well, this is them casting the spell, which is divination. They're not using an enchantment from an item. They have a cleric, or not a knowledge domain cleric amongst them. That would be working. Yeah, because this would be one of the guys from the Westwind Clinic.
28.
28? Okay. Well, amazingly,
I am brutally resistant to mind reading.
very low level cleric does not manage to get past your guys' what we'll say is conscious general thoughts. So I'm gonna go through one after another. We're gonna go and ask. Azurus, I assume, isn't refusing. So Azurus allowing his full mind to be read leads to an interesting perspective. Everything of his perspective, they kind of comment and seem to write down. All right, Wara, what are your general surface thoughts? I'm curious, as you're having your mind read.
Why did they keep me on the ship? I just want to buy a new sword. The stupid little short shits.
You see the captain in the background is steaming. There is what looks to be a +2 weapon made of gloom bones kind of on his hip. What looks to be a longsword kind of lightly dragging on the ground behind him as he is glaring at Wara with just turning red.
I mean, even his sword is better than mine, and I want to buy a better sword than he has. And it's not fair.
With that, all right, going up the list from there as War kind of lets that go. The guard captain just infuriated. We're gonna go to Melhel next.
Oh, is it a Snowbeard that's doing this?
It is a frost giant who is doing this.
Oh, okay. Are they evil aligned?
No, they are neutral, true neutral.
Okay, cool.
And if you're curious about their domain, they are knowledge.
Their domain doesn't matter. It's just their alignment.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
And whether they're an ice creature or not, which frost giants are, as it happens.
I think they're listed as like hold or something like that as one of their subtypes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what are your surface thoughts, Melhead?
Does he get my surface thoughts with the 28?
It is literally just whatever general thoughts that you wouldn't guard. So this is like immediate things that are going through your mind. Nothing that's like deep, as we call it.
Oh, my surface thoughts are basically the most persistent one would be about my mother. Just like, God, is she actually back yet? Or like that one lady said that she'd be watching, and then the other surface thoughts are generally like, I wonder if this cleric has magic in it like a magical bloodline. Like it's very instinct based. It's like, what am I afraid of? What's making me hungry?
Okay. You see him kind of writing down mother issues.
And I'm like,
not hungry.
I'm like my eyes flick to his chest as I think about, like, could I gain magic power by eating his heart? Is it worth the kerfuffle? I very quickly come to the decision of no. My eyes flick over to the rest of his entourage.
Creepy is the last thing he writes and underlines that twice as he kind of steps away and walks over to Floor Snap. Accepting this, and kind of walking up to Floor Snap, looking at Floor Snap, As he flips the page over, writing your name down, begins to do it. Floorsnap, you succeeded. So, what are your general surface thoughts?
Hello, young man. Welcome to my mind. I hope this is not a traumatic experience for you. I am very old. Anyway, here are some of my early memories. I hope you enjoy them.
You all watch as the cleric immediately his eyes begin to roll back into his head. Little black veins beginning to kind of pop on the edges of his eyes as he then falls over, passing out, beginning to twitch and foam at the mouth. As a few of the guards rush over, guard captain looking over at you and goes, "What the hell did you do?"
Oh, I tried to give him access to some of my mind. Unfortunately, my species' minds are somewhat alien. I think don't really mesh well. I can give you a written statement if this is better. I would hate for anyone to get injured. It's not intentional. It's simply part of physiology.
Kind of looks at you and then kind of smiles and goes, "No, no, no. We have an easy way of dealing with this. The Regan has provided us with this in case of." As he pulls out a spell scroll and burns it as it casts Zone of Truth around you and him, and he looks over at you, Floorsnap, and goes, "Are you responsible for that ship's creation?"
No, of course not. I did not create the ship.
Are you responsible for its transformation into that foreign object-like creature?
I could not transform it myself.
Looks at you and goes, "Did you have anything to do with the thing's transformation, or do anything up to that moment that would have involved that ship?"
I took no physical action that could have transformed it.
Just kind of stares at you, and you can see his mind is kind of like working. Kind of looks over you and goes, "I don't like you."
It is a will save to do Zone of Truth.
It is. Don't worry though, because he did seemingly choose to fail it because he's not telling a lie, and I see what he's doing here. Kind of nods and goes. I think after saying "I don't like you," he kind of immediately lets the spell cancel out, and goes, "All right, then they're clean." As the crew begins to take the cleric off the ship on a stretcher, and they begin to fall over to the next ship.
Goodbye. I hope your young man gets better.
And glares over at you, and then stares over at Wara and speaks up and goes, "You should keep your Arctic beard on a shorter leash, otherwise that temper's gonna get him killed."
As I look at the captain, can I leave yet?
Oh, we don't have an Arctic beard on board.
Which captain are you talking to?
I say that out loud.
Yeah.
I'm talking to the captain of the guard.
Captain Vin just kind of looks over at you and goes, "Hey, hearing all that, goes, you all..." Looks over at Wara and kind of looks back at the party and just kind of shrugs and goes, "I don't care. You're welcome to go and..."
Guessing the captain's height, I'll go, "I'll have you know, I'm 2'10".
You just call me short, young man. As he kind of takes a step forward, weapon kind of his hand on his blade.
As I cross my arms, did I say that?
Wara,
Yes, Captain.
can you kindly not cause problems with the local authorities?
I'm gonna walk over to the captain, the other captain.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
Captain
lean in
Vind. Yeah.
I'm gonna lean in and I'm gonna be like, I place one hand but just above the captain's, and then I place one hand at an equal level, and I start moving them back and forth, like as if I'm trying to measure the two of them. And then how do I want to do this?
I'm still sitting down too.
I want you
Do
to
I
know,
wanna-
as your hands are going like around this individual, he is getting more and more infuriated as his skin is turning brighter and brighter red, and the veins are starting to pop out as there's anger coming, like steam coming off his head.
It's especially bad because fucking I'm having to bend over to do this. Like, so I'm like leaning over him. I say,
Huh?
you know, it's really hard to tell. It'd be easier if I was eye level with the two of you, and I walk away.
He looks up at Captain Azurus and Captain Vince smiles very as he's slightly grinding his teeth back and forth and goes, "Oh, you know what? How about you get plenty of time? Your ship's not leaving for the rest of the fucking year. I see it out of here. I'll put a bounty on your ass so large that you won't see the fucking end of this shipping lane. You hear me?"
How many of them are there right there?
It's just Captain Vin standing there. His guards are down on the dock. He is standing at the kind of gangplank.
Mm.
He will begin, or as he says this though, you hear as there is a shout and you feel the ship begin to slightly struggle and move a bit as chains begin to slingly lock it into place from below the docks and below the sea level. And Captain Vin just kind of smiles over at Azurus and goes, "You know, Captain, I recommend keeping your crew on a shorter leash than that in the future. It'd be a real shame if someone had to lock your ship down for another, I don't know. Well, shoot, I had one here for 5 years last time he came into my docks with an attitude. I think I can beat that record," as he looks back at his crew and smiles as they start to kind of cheer. And he goes, "And if you think you're gonna fight your way out of here, I want you to know, I got the Reagan on contact here. You'll be dead before you reach the docks."
I pulled a letter out of my pocket that has Reagan Utham's seal on it.
Looks at it and goes, all you got right there is a confirmation of an item being prepared by the men. That means nothing here."
And then I pull out the emblem from the mercenary under Houghton.
I do something here.
First off, as I'm walking up, I'm gonna look at May and be like, next time, please don't agitate the local authorities. Second, I look over to his men, to the captain's men. How much do you make a year? How many of them, by the way, are there?
There's only about 20 of them down at the bottom, or at the deck, including a stout cleric, so 21 in total.
Alright.
Captain Vind smiles at you and goes, "Oh, are you bribing me, sir?"
Not you. Fuck off. I don't care about you. I'm not talking about your men here.
"Oh, my men, that's a punishable with prison. We're gonna have to take you in there, young man."
Alright, that's the case. Hold on. I would like him. Let me see what this spells saving throw is.
As he kind of eyes over at War's paperwork, kind of just snorting a steam out of his nose, not seeming to care at all, War, as he looks over at Captain Azurus.
You guys just don't know when to shut up, do you? Alright! Guess it's time to put fear of God in their eyes.
I can feel the Eider in the background typing at that comment. No, but go ahead.
Alright, so...
Oh, Floorsnap's doing something as well.
Captain, can he make...
Let's...
Yeah. Is this a charm effect, out of curiosity, Floorsnap?
Oh, technically, yeah.
He is immune.
Okay, cool. Nothing happens.
You watch as his belt begins to lightly glow, as he kind of smiles over at you, Captain Azurus, kind of noticing it, and kind of looks up at you again, goes, "Really, in a charm spell? Oh, you're just fucking trying
to
be
make
problem."
a fortitude save.
Fuck you. God. What is this? Is this not mind affecting, I assume?
Nope.
God damn it. Okay, fortitude, give me a minute. I gotta find... Actually, I just pulled this up because of the other party. Give me a moment to pull this note. So I don't have it offhand, his full sheet. I do have certain things because I had to write them down because I knew Floor Snap or May was going to try a charm spell immediately.
I actually don't have charm spells on May.
Oh, fair. I thought you did. All right,
I've
plus
got
4.
Nope.
That's it.
person. That's it.
I was going to kill him.
Shit! That's a 10 for the fortitude save.
You speak the words and make the sign of the wave. Your foe sputters, water gushing from his mouth. You create water in the lungs of the subject, causing it to begin drowning. As if it had failed to continue holding its breath, the subject's hit points immediately drop to 0 and fall unconscious. In the next round, it loses another hit point, bringing its hit points to -1 and is dying. In the following round, it dies.
Hold up. Let me check some.
Coughing and other attempts by the subject to physically expel the water from its lungs are useless.
As he begins to kind of cough up this water, is it an instantaneous effect? Out of curiosity.
Yes.
Here, what's the spell, real quick? I want to see something.
Drown.
Alright. I don't think I have anything that can do it, but I just want to double check.
6th level druid spell.
If it failed.
That ironically does not interrupt what I was going to do. So, unless you're physically stopping me, I'm hitting the dock with prismatic spray.
Give me a second. I'm just double checking this. Okay, now I gotta look up drowning effect because now I don't remember. I just want to make sure I'm right. If this is, I don't think I can pop a potion while I'm with the drowning effect, but I don't remember.
I mean, your mouth is already filled with water.
Well,
His mouth is already filled with water, and his HP is -1, like right now.
Yeah,
Well, it's 0 right now. It immediately takes effect. Won't be able to even get stuff to his mouth.
cool. Okay. When the character finally fails their constitution, they begin to drown. The first round, they fall. Oh yeah, no, it's automatic. There's nothing I can do. No, all right.
Like even if drowning is different, the spell just says immediately drops to 0 and falls unconscious.
Yep, I see it. Yeah. Oh, that fucking sucks. Okay.
I have been wanting to use this spell for so long. I mean, as Captain Azorus, I'm a little peeved at my crew for making me have to do this, essentially saying I can't come to this town ever fucking again.
Yeah, as you manage to get this off, Captain Vin begins to cough up this seawater and looking at you, panicked, anger, or kind of replaced with fear as he immediately falls over, his eyes rolling back. I will say, I do not. I don't know if that's. Oh wait, hold up. Oh no, that's. Oh, I forgot. Counterspell works different. 3.5. Ignore me. I don't have anything to answer this.
Finger press him, push him into the water.
As you walk over and kind of just lightly shove him into the water, May kind of standing on your side, turning with the prismatic spray.
Yeah, I'm blasting the dock with the prismatic spray to stop the chains from getting on the ship so we can leave.
All right, let's see what you got.
I don't got anything. They have to. How many targets am I hitting?
The chains are a magical effect.
Well, if the caster's gone, it doesn't matter.
Well, they're not. The caster isn't amongst this group, so you're just hitting the docks to try and hit the object where the spell circle would be in sense. So docks, it would be. Let me double check for wood. Because the material...
I'm also hitting the guards that are down there.
Oh, okay.
It's a huge cone, so...
Got you. I gotta double check my note for what wood AC is. Give me a second. It's been a bit.
I don't have to roll to hit AC, so the thing is just automatically in it.
Oh.
Because it's literally just a cone, and...
Is it a save? And it's a save, right? Depending
on
what you roll. Okay. Yeah. All right. Apologies. I don't remember your spell off the top of my head, so it has been a minute. Okay. So, I'm just checking. Okay. So, yeah, give me a D8 then to see which these effects you're having going off.
I need to know how many targets I'm hitting.
So there are 21 targets for the people plus the dock, which is 22.
22 D8, and the first one will be the dock.
Yep. You gotta do exclamation mark R. Yep, you got this. Guess R doesn't work unless you separate it. Oh, there you go.
6 doesn't do anything to the dock, but goddamn, did I fuck up everyone else. 6 is just the dock. The dock is insane.
Okay, so the dock will fail to say it will save, but unfortunately, with no mind and no ability to move, it can't do anything.
And then the second person gets hit with 2 rays, which is a 6 and a 1, so he's insane, and he takes 20 fire damage.
Instantly killing him. Yeah, you watch as... Okay, yep.
The
I'm
third
looking
person
at your spell. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
is turned to stone, fortitude negates.
Okay.
Fourth target is sent to another plane, will negates. The next person is just immediately takes 40 acid damage, reflex half, which I believe just kills him. Another 20 points of fire damage. A new one. 80 points of electricity damage, which I believe just instantly kills him. And then we get our next 2 check.
Oh, oops.
1 and 7, which is 20 points of fire and sent to another plane will negates.
Alright, give me a second.
And then more damage sent to another plane.
For DCs, I just want to make sure. 29 in fortitude, does it save?
29 in fortitude?
Correct.
For what?
But you said you asked for a fortitude save, so that's why I was double checking.
Oh yeah, he's not turned to stone. He just gets hit by the ray.
Okay, and then for I assume 8 does not save for will, or sorry for reflex.
Nope.
All right, so
no.
24 for will.
24 for will. He's fine. He
Okay.
doesn't go to another plane.
All right, so those who succeed on the
there's a bunch more though. So.
Oh, I'm doing a total. I'm not going to roll every single individual. That we will be here all night, and I'm not planning to do 2 hours worth of rolling.
Okay.
Yeah, as
a bunch of them die though.
Yeah, as the spell goes off, you watch the explosion of colors as they begin to individuals begin to burn, melt. Many of them begin to try or go insane as they begin to try and jump out of the way as quickly as possible. As those guards on the dock begin to shatter and break. Immediately, Azura's kind of shoving this guard captain into the water as he did, watching the guy drown. The chains still keeping the ship tethered as you look about. The crew looking in confusion and concern. Wara standing there now, realizing he's not going to be able to go back and get his stuff.
Captain, if you want, I can destroy the chains.
Oh, I can do it from here.
Yeah, I was about to say floor snap. See what we can do about the chains. I sure hope Vicaret can get back on board in time.
As you look off into the distance, not seeing Vicaret anywhere to be seen.
Making me lose my favorite fucking craft art. Pissed.
Yeah, Nilo can go and get her. Technically, potentially, up to you.
Me looking at my imaginary watch. With what time?
The sounds of the bells ringing and guards beginning to gather up their arms as you start to see troops beginning to head down the 2 main streets towards the docks.
Well, we thought of one.
All men around the capstan! I need full sails!
Alright, fine.
The crew begins to go moving about and snapping to as they do.
Seeing that none of my skills are going to be useful, I jump to help the crew.
Okay, no worries. As you begin to kind of help unfurl the sails, beginning to get everything kind of set out, moving materials as needed. Floor snap.
I'm actually, if really quickly, I'm gonna head down to the hold where Vicaret's 7 children essentially are.
Well, 4.
And
4.
There's only 4.
Yeah, because 3 of them went. Mm-hmm.
All right, actually, then, no, they'll come back. All right, no, we're cool. I was gonna send if they were all 7, I was gonna send them to go at least to Vic. But Vic's gonna come back for the rest of them. I'm certain she'll find her way back.
She wouldn't be totally pissed that you guys just left her there.
Well, it's not my fault.
Well, as you look on, alright, Floor Snap, what's the plan here? As Wara begins helping with the crew, Melhel kind of watching out for any other members coming closer to kind of attack as they do.
Yeah, I'm like just fucking. as if any of the guards try and get close enough, I literally just point my finger at them like I'm gonna blast them, because I know my reputation precedes me. So.
Yep. And watching many of the guards keeping a bit of a healthy distance. Floor Snap is what's the plan for these chains?
Well, can strength check them, can just literally try and deal damage to them. Whichever one you feel like wanting me to do.
Well, they're magic. This is a magical spell, so they aren't physical chains per se. These are a spell. They're binding the ship here.
Gotcha. I can just rip the floor apart that's like holding them together. The magic circle.
Is the frost giant cleric still within
alive?
sight?
No, not anymore. You kind of burned him to death.
How close to the ship is he? Is still on the ship?
Nope, his body is on the dock, and again, it is a corpse at this point.
Oh, I want his heart, because frost giants have magic.
As you look on, Floor Snap. Alright, so, you gonna just try and sink the entire docks? As you can't see where the spell's coming from, you can just sense that there is a strong sense of magic coming from underneath the dock.
Oh, yeah, fine. I'll just, like, rip the dock apart and just, like, start hitting the fucking whatever, like, the source of the magic is with the dock.
I can feel...
As you start to rip the dock apart, I say, dump the frost giant body onto the ship. I want to eat it.
I just kind of like shrug and just like bull rush the fucking body onto the ship. Like, yeah.
As you begin to do it, yeah, give me a strength check or an attack, depending on if you're just trying to do damage to this thing. If you're just trying to tear it down, it'll be just a strength check to see if you can. Also, I can feel Regan Utham hating all of you right now, like severely. He just built this town and you're tearing it down again. This will be the 4th time this city has been attacked and destroyed.
Well, we're never coming back here.
Definitely, yeah, that's definitely true. About to live up to that most wanted list here.
Do I feel Regan Utham's ire?
Oh, yeah. Oh, you know you're not getting that weapon now after this. Oh, you know this. You basically burned this bridge completely for what's about to happen.
The medallion from Croton's mercenary group, I rip it off my neck and toss it overboard.
Okay, I was going to say...
I break the scroll in half with the emblem and toss that overboard as well.
Oh, shit. Okay. As you kind of step off to the side, seeing Floor Snap getting ready and hearing the dock beginning to crack, having seen him tear trees out of the ground with just his mind before kind of getting the idea, you standing there, take a second, look at the medallion after you take it off and kind of looking up at the mountain, kind of taking a moment and really coming to a solid decision, laying a hand over the medallion, dropping into the ocean, and then as you grab out the scroll, tearing it in half as well, you solidify yourself as a proper member of the Red Lady Pirates. With the very gay captain as Floor Snap begins to tear the dock and it begins to crack and break underneath the pressure. The ship beginning to slightly move and shake as it does, but as the docks begin to pull into the deep river down below, crashing and colliding into the water, you feel as the chains break away, the spell ending.
I'm definitely going to do one last hurrah, just hopefully to give an idea to our dear crafter. Victory! We gotta go!
As you shout this, suddenly you feel a tap on your shoulder as Vickers just looking at you with her 3 other kids and just staring at you.
Oh, hey, glad you made it aboard. The cruise is about to begin.
Not even really sure how I got here, but I'm here.
You know.
The little spell scroll from the Ironheart Merchant Company in the background slightly smoking away as the last of the merchandise that Vicaret had bought kind of on a cart behind them as they kind of begin to head below, ignoring the entire situation.
Welcome aboard. Sorry, we had to set sail early. Issues with the local authorities happen. We probably won't be coming here again. But hey,
God,
I got 3 cool pieces of metal for you. I'll tell you what.
Oh, how are you with crafting bone?
I mean, well, I'm alright at it. It's material. I can work with materials. That's what I do.
I have many long bones and a skull.
Oh, skulls could be useful. I'll see what I can do with it. I head down below. Vigret heads down below deck, not wanting to be a part of a scene that another character of mine is a part of. Thus negating the risk of me having to roleplay 2 characters.
No, yeah, that's fair. Hey, that's why you have a DM, right? So,
No, Milo, come here. Let me tell me what you think about Vicar in detail.
But as Vikrat kind of heads down below, her 3 children kind of happily carrying the merchandise, the sigil of the Ironheart Merchant Company kind of on the side, with a happy or receipt that says "Thank you for doing business. Please come again." As they head down below. As you 4 kind of stand on the top deck, the trolls beginning to move it. Water kind of heading to the sails, getting them to move. The rudder kind of set down in the water as the ship begins to turn. Crump at the head and smiling and laughing maniacally as he goes, "And now we can get out of here and avoid my father!" As he spins the wheel hard and the ship lurches to the right, turning and spinning around.
I do not think he knows where he is going.
He does not, as the ship continues to spin like a top and
Crump,
goes
get
back
off
all the
helm
way.
wheel!
Crump just spinning around with it as he kind of
I immediately fly over to the helm and take control of the wheel.
Give me a use
God.
magic device to see how quick you can get out of here. As you right the thing, kind of starting it. The crew kind of looking up appreciatively.
The ship isn't a magic device.
No, I use magic device as a general thing.
Could I use profession sailor instead?
I'll take profession sailor as well.
Thank you. All right.
Oh, really? Oh, good to know.
Let me see if I got anything I can fling at these nerds as we're leaving.
That will be
For
a
fun.
22.
A 32?
22.
Oh, okay. I was like, damn, dude. All right, yeah, so smooth sailing. No. Yeah, as you kind of catch the fly over, catching the helm, much of the crew kind of looking up at you appreciatively as they regain their kind of sea legs. Crump smiling at you as he kind of stands off to the side and goes, "Yes, Captain, we are off and out." As the ship begins to spin. Mm-hmm.
I will activate see invisibility on myself
Okay.
just to make sure we're not being followed.
Okay. As you begin to head out, the ship taking off at a quickened pace. As you lot begin to pass outside the walls, the sounds of alert from the guards as they kind of stand watching. The distant ship of the Iron Warden beginning to gather its crew and beginning to turn, as well as the Zelzen Sun kind of following shortly after, as the 2 other ships kind of spin and turn out towards you. As you begin to head your way out towards King's End, as you begin to get closer and closer, give me a search check of all those who are going to stay on the top deck.
Can I do a spot check instead?
Sure.
22.
22, okay.
Are we actually going to stop at the next fucking town, considering
This
we just
isn't
got
for you
outlawed?
stopping. This isn't. This is for you going through the thing to see if anything's coming. Because King's End is owned by Regan Utham. This is still his territory, and you just kind of attacked his city. Also, little side note to those who haven't sailed here before, King's End has a thing called an Iron Curtain.
Yeah, I'm familiar.
And for those who don't know what that is, it's what the French used to keep most the invading raiders of the northern lands from coming up their rivers. It didn't work very well because they just picked up the boats and climbed around, but it worked to keep the boats out of the water. 29 for Floor Snap, 11 for Wara, and 17. Oh, that is a nat one. Wara, to be honest, everything going on has kind of, and with the decision you've just made, your mind is swimming with so many things. Right now, you are fully distracted as you're just going about doing your job as you're trying to keep the ship going. But with that, Milhel and Florsnap and Captain Azurus, as you look on, you see two large towers on either side of the long river, or the wide river. Immediately, with the sounds and torches in them already lit, noting that when you came in they were not, you can already see the Iron Curtain beginning to rise out of the water. Thick, massive pillars beginning to block it, as well as what looks to be a crash ship that's already kind of slammed into it that looks to be oddly in the shape of a large forest frog. That's kind of crunched into much of it as you look on.
No, my friend, you were supposed to be free.
How deep is this Iron Curtain go? Or is it because the actual chain rises above the water, correct?
Yes.
How deep is this river?
To note, it's somewhere. It's not fully noted, but most of it looks to be a crack in the land itself, and seems to roughly go around 5, some believe 600 feet deep in some spots.
I smile. I'm like, well, guess it's time to hold our breath, and the ship goes underneath the water.
Oh, you're casting your spell. Okay. As the spell as you hear, immediately, the captain kind of say this, the ship begins to sink as you all watch the towers, their large, the large curtain kind of already raised, archers at the top watching you lot coming into range as they readied their ballista and bows, looking down, smiling at you with excitement as the giants look like they haven't seen combat in days. As soon as the Captain Azur speaks, the ship begins to sink, a bubble kind of beginning to surround you all as it does, and you begin to sink beneath the waves. As you... Oh, good.
I flip the giants off.
May kind of climbing up to the top of the top crow's nest, where the crow's nest normally would be, just to be the last thing that they see as the ship goes under, with a middle finger in the air as you sink
I morph myself into a giant so they can see me do this.
As they seem to, like, you see a couple of arrows fly, suddenly let loose as you begin to go underwater a few hundred feet before coming anywhere close to you, as the ship sinks underneath and begins to go down into the depths. The only thing that you all are... How many of you have dark vision, out of curiosity? Or rather, who doesn't have dark vision?
Okay.
Because I think most people should have dark vision. Is there anyone who doesn't in this group specifically?
I might be one of them, but let me double check.
Okay. Florsnap shouting out for his frog ship that unfortunately looks like it has no life left in it. A large iron pillar kind of pushed through its chest.
No!
Unfortunately for me, I don't have dark vision. However,
Okay.
I believe I have a spell that can rectify that.
Feel free to go double check. Oh, go ahead.
I was saying the spell's called Dark Vision.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. If you're planning to cast on yourself, just note that for your spell slots.
Certainly, as I like to see what I'm sailing.
Yep. Wara, I assume, has dark vision, and I know I believe Florsnap does, and so May, you do, so we're good. Okay. All right. As you begin to watch, you see as the Iron Curtain begins to suddenly, the shouts in giant to lower the curtain as it begins to drop. But as it begins, the sounds of something crunching and grinding as the frog's body seems to kind of jam the pillars from being able to lower, and allowing the entirety of the net to drop back down to guard the lower end as the thing continues to kind of get stuck at the top, continuing to rise upwards only. A few moments go by, and as the ship kind of sinks underneath it, you all see at the end of this river the open ocean and a massive body of something the size of a small continent. A huge, scaly, dark creature that seems to almost be the size of 3 ships in width or in height, and a width that you can't even see. Dragon scales that seem to shimmer as some creature seems to be swimming by at the entrance of this river.
As well as my beloved Calypso, my favorite pet in the world.
Calypso looks to be hiding underneath your ship, and Wave Rider.
Wave Scales.
Wave Scales, that's it. Wave Scales, thank you. Wave Scales and his ship also are nowhere to be seen.
That's a big fucking fish.
There's always a bigger fish. Floor Snap.
Noting its colossal size as you look on, the creature kind of seemingly continually swimming past for as you get closer. The body looking to extend for miles into the dark ocean.
Wait, holy shit! Is this?
Yes.
Is this the apex?
Yes.
Oh my god! It's Yarmagander!
As you see, after a few moments of kind of waiting, the sounds of alarm above continuously going on as you watch this creature's massive tail kind of flash by. The tail end of it, these little sparkling, almost rainbow-like crystals that kind of seem to flutter at the very end as the tail passes off and disappears.
Definitely Azorus, knowing what this is, definitely gives a bow, essentially. You know, the nod of the head. It's because to Azorus, that thing is the sea itself.
Crump just kind of looks over at you and goes, Captain, I think we can take it.
Crump,
Shut up, small man.
Shut up, Crump. You don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah, no, you seem kind of pale, but it kind of goes, you hear lightly under his breath, he goes, I know I could kill it.
I can give you the opportunity. You want to get close?
No, Floor Snap.
As you lot
Let's just have a smooth cruise.
come into the outside to the open ocean, you see as Wave Scale's ship kind of comes fluttering over towards you quickly, as they begin to kind of fall in behind you. Calypso kind of floating off to the side now that the creature is gone.
Mm-hmm. That was fun.
I kind of enjoyed myself. I even got this. I pat the giant body that I'm sitting on.
Yeah, the frost giant. Yeah.
I did have a great time, May, but let's try not to aggravate the authorities next time. I'd like to leave on good notes sometimes if I want to come back.
You know, for what it's worth, I was just backing up Wara. I'm still technically under his command. Like he's, you put me in his squad, so I thought I had to back him up the way that the one guy's soldiers were backing up their squad leader.
I mean, hey, good on you for backing up your commander, but I also told your commander to stand down as well.
Oh, yeah, it's fair.
And
I just
also,
was
we're
going
on
to
the
be better
ship,
later.
so captain's in charge.
I just know
Hey,
I was going to be very
you know,
good for your stuff there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to be fair, quite the boost to our notoriety, I have to say. World's most wanted? Fuck yeah, we are.
As you begin to kind of clap, celebrating and kind of beginning to cheer, you lot kind of begin to head out into the open ocean, surfacing only after getting a good few hundred miles between you and anything close to the shore of Regan Utham's territory. As the two ships kind of come together and begin to celebrate, enjoying themselves, Malehel enjoying their frost giant. We're going to end session there today with the party getting a chance now to celebrate, party, and think about where they want to go next. Yes, May?
I do also loot the frost giant's body.
Alright, I'll note that after session. We thank you all for watching. We hope you enjoyed, and we will see you next time.